Find out how to retire your way when it comes to Medicare decisions next. Welcome to Retiring Today. I'm Molly Nelson here with Loren Merkle and AnnaMarie Morrow. AnnaMarie is the Director of Medicare here at Merkle Retirement Planning, and Loren is a certified financial planner, a certified financial fiduciary, and a retirement income certified professional. Today we're talking about retiring your way. It is such a great concept, Loren, that not only did you write a book titled Retire Your Way, we've got a whole toolkit that we've put together, and it's fun because, Loren, this is exactly what people want to do. They want to retire their way.
People spend 40 years planning for this moment, or at least thinking about this moment, but for the last 5 years leading up to retirement is really where people sharpen that vision of what their retirement is going to look like. Anybody who's thought about retirement for even a few moments starts to get in their mind what they're going to do when they don't have to go to work on Monday morning, and that is retirement your way. Just last week I met with a couple, and she had just retired and he is still working part-time. Now that's significantly different than what most people think of, at least historically, when people are talking about retirement. That's kind of a, yes, I'm gonna retire, and one day I'm working, one day I'm retired. And then for him, it was, I'm going to kind of phase into retirement. I asked him, I said, are you planning on working next year? He said, no. He said, why would I retire? I'm having too much fun. So they both have a vision of what their retirement is, but it has joined together to be their vision. And now what they need to find, which is what most people need to find once they consider what retiring your way really looks like, is how do you accomplish it from a financial standpoint? You have your retirement vision, which is significantly different than most people's vision. Now you need to have your retirement plan to help you accomplish it from a financial standpoint.
And that's the beauty of Retire Your Way, is it's customizable. I mean, that's what I hear when I hear Retire Your Way, because no one has lived the same life as you. No one has lived the same life as your neighbor or your spouse even. So your needs in retirement are going to be different from everybody's. And so that's why we have this team on board to build these customizable retirement plans that can give you confidence as you make these decisions throughout retirement.
And of course, retirement is fun, right? There's a couple kayaking on the front of the book for a reason, because this is the kind of stuff that people want to do. But before you get to this fun, Loren, a lot of people have concerns. They have questions. They can see it in the future, but maybe they don't know how to get there. They don't know if they have enough money to do it. And so we've put together a toolkit that can really start answering some of those questions for them.
Yes, usually people's vision about retirement is all the fun stuff, the kayaking, the trips, the RVing, the grandkids, all that kind of stuff. And then as they get closer, they start to realize, wait a minute, how am I going to afford this for potentially 20 to 25 years? And this is where the anxiety and the concerns really creep in. This is what the retirement toolkit is meant to help people uncover, is how do you accomplish this retiring your way from a financial standpoint. So we talk about the risks of longevity. What does a 20 to 25 year retirement time frame look like, even from a healthcare standpoint? How do you cover long-term care risk? We talk about Social Security strategies. You have a whole lot of strategies when it comes time to elect Social Security. We talk about each one of the 6 pillars of the retirement plan within the retirement toolkit, so people can take strategies and information out of that toolkit and help them on their way to retiring their way.
That you mentioned the Social Security decisions in the toolkit. I love this guide. It's super powerful because there's so many misconceptions and misunderstandings about Social Security. And what I found recently is especially how it's taxed. So a great friend of mine is retired over the age of 62, and she does not have any income to claim in retirement. So casual conversation, I asked her, hey, have you thought about when you're going to elect Social Security? And she goes, oh, I don't want to. I don't want to start paying taxes. And so then it clicked, and I'm like, oh, she thinks Social Security is taxed like regular income, and it's not. And so this Social Security guide really breaks down in a high level, simple way that not 100% of your Social Security is taxed. These are the tax ranges, the tax brackets you would need to be in order for it to be taxed. But yeah, her being in this 0% tax bracket, her Social Security would not be taxed. And it's just one of those things. She didn't know that. And I think that's the power of this toolkit, is there's so many great nuggets of information in there where people realize, I didn't know that.
Let's talk about the details of that Retire Your Way toolkit. Here it is on your screen. You go to a website. It's Retire Your Way Toolkit. There you can download 5 guides and a copy of Loren's book, Retire Your Way. And those guides will uncover some of the things we just discussed here. But we've got more to uncover right now. So let's talk about Medicare, because sometimes I think people are kind of surprised to learn that AnnaMarie not only, works right here at Merkle Retirement Planning. She works right next to the retirement planners, and you guys all just work together very closely.
Yeah, it's absolutely imperative that AnnaMarie, the Director of Medicare, works with us here at Merkle Retirement Planning, because we get to work together every single day on behalf of the families and individuals that we serve to build out their plans. When we're talking about what their income plan is, their tax plan, their investment plan, legacy plan, and their health care plan, we have to have constant communication on each individual plan to make sure that the income decisions that we're making aren't going to negatively impact the health care decisions that they're making, and the tax decisions and the longevity. All those decisions do work together, because the decisions you make on each one of those could have a significant impact on all of the other ones.
And AnnaMarie, I think right now you're going to show us an example of how this all works.
Exactly. This is where we see this overlap with these pillars within your overall retirement, how they affect one another. So for example, the first time you elect Medicare Part B and D, they will do a 2-year look back. And they will continue to do this 2-year look back as you continue throughout your years on Medicare. So for example, in 2024, this is the IRMA income graph. IRMA stands for Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And this is for Part B. There's also an IRMA increase for Part D, much lower premiums, but we're going to focus on Part B. So you'll see this left-hand column. These are the income ranges if you're married filing jointly. If you're single, just cut these numbers in half. And then on the right side, here is the monthly premium associated with the income ranges. And this is so important to keep in your back pocket, because we see this time and time again. And in fact, just recently, Loren and I sat down with a couple for the first time, and they're really looking forward to retirement. They're both over the age of 65. And so as we're discussing what they anticipate their expenses to be in retirement, Medicare gets brought up for their health care, and they each said, $174.70, we know we can't anticipate that. Well, as we continued the conversation and we discussed what their income had been and what tax and investment planning strategies they had been implementing, we came to find out that they were actually going to be paying $454 a month for Part B. And that's for each of them. So now we have a couple that's going to be paying $900 a month just for Part B throughout the duration of that year. So then the next question was, should we keep working? We're not making that same income. What do we do? What's the next step? Now, when there is retirement, that's a life-changing event, which triggers the option to file an appeal, which can go either direction, but that could potentially bring back down their monthly premiums to that base $174.70. But the main point here is what can we do? If you're watching this and you're 59, 60 years old and you hear Medicare and you're like, oh, I don't need to worry about that now, it's years away, there could be potential strategies we could implement that could mitigate that cost, so we could avoid going through that appeal process.
Avoid the appeal process and avoid the surprises. I remember the look on their faces when they found out over $900 a month, because the story that they've been told is, finally, I'm on Medicare and it's going to be less expensive. I'm going to get a reprieve from these high healthcare costs. And for them, that wasn't necessarily their real outcome outside of that appeal process.
And I can't help but thinking of the irony that you've been paying into Medicare this whole time, and then you have to turn around and pay $900 a month. That's a lot more than most people when they're working pay for health care, right?
It is, and it's overwhelming, especially when you don't know about it. But just know, it's never too early to start this planning. That's why we say if you're 57 or older, it's a great time to start planning so we can implement these strategies and plans in place so we can avoid these unexpected surprises.
Yeah, so essentially what can you do if you meet with someone at 57 or somewhere in that 57 to 63 range? You can start helping them with some income planning that could maybe make this a lower premium?
Yeah, what we need to do is identify what are your goals from a retirement timing standpoint. Do want to retire at age 60? Do you want to retire at age 62? Do you want to work all the way up till Medicare age? Identify what those goals are and then consolidate the financial resources and say, here's how much income you can deliver from this particular resource. Here's how you're going to use Social Security. Here's what you're going to do from a tax planning standpoint to put yourself in a better situation to increase your spendable income and maybe not have income that's going to exceed that IRMA limit. All of that stuff needs to be aggregated together so you have a clear vision of not only what your strategies are today that you can start implementing to impact in a positive way all these other factors, but also what are your strategies going to look like a year away from retirement, 6 months away from retirement, that day that you retire, how is that income going to come in next month? All of that stuff, the sooner you start working on that, the better position you're going to be.
I can see how that planning eliminates surprises and also helps you retire your way. So that toolkit, retireyourway.com, there are 5 guides there, and then you'll also get a complimentary copy of Loren's book, Retire Your Way. You heard AnnaMarie mention an appeal. You might have wondered, what is that all about? Well, we'll dive into the details of a Medicare appeal next.
You dream of a happy retirement, but there are some big questions to answer first. Do I have enough saved? When should I take Social Security? How will I pay for health care and keep up with inflation? Go to merkelretire.com to schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call to talk directly with a retirement planner and get answers to your important retirement questions. The first step to your retirement starts with a 15-minute retirement checkup call.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
The Merkle Retirement Planning Team provides personable and professional expertise unrivaled in this area. They include us in every step of the planning process. The peace of mind provided to us by the Merkle team allows us to fully enjoy this special time of our lives. Instead of feeling snakebit, we feel confident that with the Merkle Retirement Planning Team at our sides, we can navigate any challenge that comes our way.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. I'm here with Loren Merkle and AnnaMarie Morrow. AnnaMarie, you mentioned that the couple was going to pay something like $900. Then they filed an appeal and it brought them down to that $174 per person. Tell us more about the appeal process.
That's one of the great benefits of working side by side with retirement planners, because a part of that appeal process is you need to illustrate what your estimated income is going to look like in that retirement year, in that year that you're filing the appeal for. So because of this overlap, we're able to look at their retirement plan, see, okay, you are going to be within this or below this income range. So let's file this appeal paperwork. And it usually takes about 2 to 3 months to get that decision on it. But it was super powerful. It went through, it was approved, and they no longer had this increase of $900. We were able to get them back down to that base.
What an impact. I mean, for them, for that particular couple, $600-ish a month difference for them. That's a real impact that they can now bank. I mean, we're talking about decreased taxes all the time. We talk about how do you maximize your income and optimize Social Security, because all of these strategies that you can implement in your plan help increase your spendable income, which helps you in a more meaningful way live the lifestyle vision that you've always had from a retirement standpoint. AnnaMarie, after all of these years of filing all these appeals successfully, how many emails and phone calls and even hugs have you received from people after you've been able to do something like that? Do you have like a hug bank that you just keep track of?
That's not a bad idea. I'll tell you what, those are my favorite emails and phone calls to get, especially when they come in on a Monday morning.
Sure.
It's just it's the highlight of my day. So, and we do see the majority of them go through. Sometimes the feedback, they'll get letters requesting more information like tax documents, proof of retirement. But I mean, it's pretty simple to get that, but we do see a pretty high success rate with it.
And it's a strategy that not a lot of people are familiar with. When you introduce that concept of the appeal to most people are like, what? I didn't know about that. I haven't heard about that. They just thought they were stuck paying these higher premiums. They get that letter in the mail from Medicare saying they're going to pay X amount when they really expected Y. And then they talk to you about the appeal process and you get to lead them through that. What a big reward for them as they try to maneuver through some of these hurdles that they have to go through as they go to retirement.
I think it's another definition of retiring your way. So we're talking about a Retire Your Way toolkit at retireyourwaytoolkit.com. And inside there are 5 guides and a complimentary copy of Loren's book, Retire Your Way. See a theme here? One of those guides is, are you paying too much in retirement taxes? No one wants to pay too much. Well, no one really wants to pay taxes at all, but we realize we've got to pay some taxes. No one wants to pay too much in taxes. So let's talk about taxes. But again, people might be surprised when we talk about taxes, you're also talking about Medicare.
We're talking about Medicare because Medicare looks back, the IRMA that you were talking about, it looks back 2 years as far as what your income was to determine what you're going to pay that particular year on your Medicare premium, and the amount of taxable income that you have is what they're using. And so if you have less taxable income, it doesn't mean that you have less income. It just means you have less taxable income. You get to keep more of it, and it can have an impact on other things like the level of premium that you pay for Medicare.
Okay, less income. Less taxable. Yes, that's an important, I want less taxable income in retirement. I think Roth conversions is sometimes a strategy that works for some people to do this.
It's one of the more prominent strategies because most people have the majority of, well, think about you. You have the majority of your retirement savings in accounts you've never paid taxes on before, whether it's your pre-tax IRAs or your pre-tax 401k plans. That money has to come out at some point. Whether you choose to take it out or you're mandated to take it out at your RMD age, it's going to come out, it's going to be taxable. So if you can get ahead of that and you can intentionally pay taxes on that money through a Roth conversion, you take it from the pre-tax IRA over to the Roth IRA. Once it's in the Roth IRA, it grows tax-free forever. And then when you take money out of that in the form of qualified distributions, it doesn't count towards your taxable income for Medicare premium purposes. It also does not get taxed at the state level in the state of Iowa, and it also doesn't get taxed at the federal level. So kind of a triple tax benefit in that regard, which again, the whole purpose, increase your spendable income, decrease your total tax liability, and potentially Medicare premium liability as well.
Okay, he said RMDs. RMDs is that required amount you take out of those accounts you've never paid taxes on. For a lot of people, it's going to be age 75 because of the new rules. Well, we can't talk about RMDs without talking about Medicare premiums because that can have a big impact on what you pay for Part B.
Absolutely. If you're implementing strategies, tax defer, and it just builds up, we're not doing Roth conversions. Keep in mind, they do this Medicare look back every year. They look back 2 years. So if you get to RMD age and you're forced now to take income, you could be now facing that IRMA increase because we didn't implement strategies beforehand.
And it's probably worth mentioning too that all of these numbers are moving, right? So you watch the IRMA numbers, they come out each summer or each fall, and usually I suppose they typically go up, and the RMD age is a moving target too. So just even coordinating all of those moving targets is kind of tricky.
Yeah, that's why we want to meet with the individuals, families we work with frequently, annually, because of the tax planning that goes into this. And we do get these notices of increase, if there is any, about November during annual enrollment timeframe. But there are these strategies we need to stay on top of so that we're continually helping people retire their way as they're making these decisions every year throughout retirement.
And one of the tax traps that people fall into is they think that it's too late. You're thinking you're 66 years old, you're already retired, you didn't implement the tax strategies, so it's too late for that, where in fact, it's not too late. You still have, if your RMD age is 75 or even 73, you still have a good amount of years that you can implement effective tax planning strategies. It's those people who say, it's too late for me, there's nothing I can do, and they just kind of go through the motions of retirement, and then they get to their RMD age, they're mandated to take out these distributions. At that point, you already have your Social Security. If you have a pension, your pension income is turned on, and now you're mandated to take out this taxable income, which now you have this minimum tax floor, which can push you into an IRMA limit permanently because of this taxable income that's going to be there basically in perpetuity for the rest of your retirement.
We'll continue talking about retiring your way, including longevity healthcare and HSAs next.
saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
Anytime I have even the smallest question about my accounts or what effect the latest tax law might have on my situation, the Merkle Retirement Planning Team is always there and quick to help. I'm so glad they treat you like family. I'm so happy to have such an excellent team working for my future and ensuring I do the best to achieve my financial goals.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Do you wonder if you have enough saved for retirement? Will your money last as long as you do? Will taxes, healthcare costs, and inflation derail your retirement? Get answers. Schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call today. We can cover a lot in 15 minutes, including strategies you can implement now to start your retirement journey. Schedule a call at merkleretire.com. The first step to a confident retirement starts with a simple phone call.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. I am here with Loren Merkle and AnnaMarie Morrow, and we are talking about Retire Your Way. Loren wrote a book with that title. We also have a toolkit, retireyourway.com. We'll keep talking about that as well. There's some complimentary guides there and a copy of Loren's book. Let's talk about healthcare, guys, because it's not exciting. Some of the numbers out there, some of the numbers that people see. So one of the most recent Fidelity studies on healthcare says that a couple age 65 will pay $315,000 in out-of-pocket healthcare costs. And Loren, that doesn't include long-term care.
It doesn't include long-term care. That's not exciting, but you know what is really exciting, Molly, is that's not where the healthcare story ends, because you can make plans to help offset that cost of long-term care and the other healthcare expenses that come over the course of your retirement. But looking at it just on the surface, you have $1 million, let's say, for retirement. You're thinking $315,000 just for healthcare expenses, long-term care expenses, plus how are you ever going to do that? This is where the planning really has to come into play, and it takes the worries from you out of it when you get to actually visually see how are you going to combat that big cost, not only at the point of retirement, but also many years over the course of your retirement.
And I know that you guys get a lot of questions about longevity. Will my money last as long as I do? And that's why there's a guide in the toolkit that is aptly named, Will Your Money Last As Long As You Do?
One of the biggest pieces of feedback that I get from married couples is people look at me and they say, I want to make sure that if something happens to me, my spouse is taken care of. One of the biggest pieces of feedback I get from single individuals is there's nobody else. There's me. I have to make sure that I am taken care of no matter how long I live and what kind of healthcare expenses that I have to incur over the course of my retirement. So whether you're married or you're single, this is a big factor, a big concern for many people. And this guide in the retirement toolkit really speaks to that and gives people actionable items to take away to help incorporate these plans into your overall retirement plan.
We talked about taxes and Medicare and how you guys work closely for people to plan for this. And I think we should talk about HSAs because you've been getting a lot of questions lately about those.
People are really recognizing what a powerful bucket of money an HSA is. So this is a health savings account. And really the only qualifier for it is to be on a HSA qualified high deductible health plan. And the benefits here, it's a triple tax benefit. There's not another bucket of money with a triple tax benefit. So basically contributions are tax deductible. If you use it at an investment tool, the gains are tax free. And when you withdraw those monies on medical qualified expenses, it comes out tax free. So if you're able to really focus in on that investment piece, it is a powerful component to have with you as you go through those Medicare and long-term care needs should that arise.
So here's one of the strategies that people can implement right away. If you have good income earnings right now, you're looking to retire maybe in 5 to 10 years, and you have an HSA, continue to contribute to that HSA, but don't use it forward for your medical expenses now. Take advantage of the triple tax benefits and use that compounding growth, because in retirement, you're going to have medical expenses that you can then use those qualified distributions to offset when maybe you don't have as much income, because now you're on retirement income as opposed to earned income.
And can you use this money for long-term care? Is that one of the qualified medical expenses?
Yep, you sure can. There's honestly, you can use it on anything. The world is yours when you enter those Medicare years. There's one exception though. There's always fine print, right? You cannot use HSA money if you are on a traditional Medigap plan, like Plan F, Plan G. You cannot use it for those monthly premiums. But everything else, the world is yours. And if it turns out you do need that money for something that's not medically qualified, you can. It'll just be taxed as regular income would. But these are really powerful to have with you.
Yeah, which even in that point is okay, because you allowed it to grow tax deferred. You take it out, you're taxed on it. You know, at the end of the day, so what? You got a good tax benefit out of it. But if you can, use it on the qualified medical expenses and really take advantage of the triple tax power.
So today we've been talking a lot about Medicare, some tax planning, some income planning, but there's more that goes into retirement, and this toolkit will give you a glimpse, a really in-depth glimpse at what's coming.
Yeah, with each one of those pillars, it's going to give you an idea of here's some of the things that you could be thinking about as you make that transition to the retirement world. Here's some strategies you could implement in your plan to help you on your way to and through retirement. And what I really like about the guide, and even the centerpiece of the guide, which is the book Retire Your Way, is it's easy to read. We use common everyday language in big print that you can get through it in a very quick amount of time. So you're investing a very short amount of time for potentially really big rewards.
Also, you gotta bring up the checklist, because if you're like me, if you know me, there's nothing more satisfying than putting a check mark in a box and marking it complete. And the income checklist is phenomenal in that regard. It really highlights points to consider within just income planning that people might not be thinking about. Again, they don't know what they don't know.
The Retire Your Way toolkit does include a retirement income checklist. You got to check it out at retireyourwaytoolkit.com. There you can download the 5 guides and a complimentary copy of Loren's book, Retire Your Way. This is Retiring Today, and we thank you for watching.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
You dream of a happy retirement, but there are some big questions to answer first. Do I have enough saved? When should I take Social Security? How will I pay for health care and keep up with inflation? Go to merkleretire.com to schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call to talk directly with a retirement planner and get answers to your important retirement questions. The first step to your retirement starts with a 15-minute retirement checkup call.